Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hands on SAP Dev, this time with me, DJ Q Macro. It's Friday, 30th of October. October or September? I don't even know where we are. Oh, what's going on? Yes, Friday, 30th of October, almost Halloween in many countries. So welcome, thanks for joining. I'm going to look down here because I've got my, as you may have seen on Twitter just now, I've got a different sort of setup, just trying things out because I want the full screen for my doings. Good morning, Raghu. Good morning, Ronnie, by the way, as well. Sorry for missing you out there, Ronnie. Good morning, Ronnie, Raghu, Uzair, Hemsagar, Phil, Mahesh. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to say good morning. I'm not going to try and guess your time zone. I can guess some people's time zones, but yeah, I think I'm going to stop trying doing that. There are some people here. Yes, there are some people here. So did you? I'm hoping you got my. I thought, Ronnie, you may have been referring to Pink Floyd. Can anybody name the track that I thought Ronnie might have been referring to with a bit of a quote there? Anyway, I've got my coffee. I thought I'd use my OAuth at 8 a.m. Coffee mug, which I got from Alex Ellis. And on the other side it says Hands on SAP Dev, which is quite cool. That's when we did that. Was anybody around when we were doing the OAuth deep dive? That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, mostly because of you lot, so thank you very much for that. Jadel, good morning. Sergio, good morning to Switzerland as well. Fantastic. Oh, the sound is not very good. Oh, the sound is not very good. Maybe I'll move that over there a bit. The sound should be better now. Is the sound okay? Let me know. Samuele, good morning. Samuele Hawkeyes is here. Glad to have you, Samuela, helping me out on all the stuff I'm not doing right. That's brilliant. So anybody else suffering some weird sound? Or is it just... Oh, the message is gone. Maybe did. Oh, okay. Maybe you deleted it because it's better now. Okay, that's cool. Peter, good morning. You've got a shirt as well. You ordered from Alex. Excellent. Well, cheers to you, Phil. Right, anyway, let's get going, shall we? Let me switch to the main scene. I'm really switching. I'm using this Stream Deck sort of blind now because normally I've divided my 4K monitor up into 4 1080p windows and I can see everything that's going on, but it's over here now. But anyway, there we go. Thanks, Sergio. Thanks for confirmation. So yeah, there's only one piece of news. Thanks, Uzair. There's only one piece of news I wanted to share, or I was thinking of this morning, which was, of course, Devtoberfest. We're in the build week. We're at the end. Well, not quite at the end. We got the weekend as well. So if you're not aware, of course, I'm sure you're all aware of what Devtoberfest is. I don't have to explain that. But build week is happening right now. It was basically started beginning of last weekend, the previous weekend. It's all this week and this weekend as well. And the final deadline for all commits to projects to be considered in the contest is basically on the 2nd of November, 1 minute past midnight, Pacific Standard Time. So I guess that's, West Coast US. And then we have a look at the stuff and do some judging, and we announce the finalists and all that sort of stuff. So quite exciting time. Okay, Uzair. No mistake at all. No worries. Absolutely no worries at all. Thanks for letting me know just in case there was an issue. That's cool. It wasn't. Okay, so it was a reference. Was it? Is it Comfortably Numb? I can't remember. Classic. What album was that from? I'm going to guess Dark Side of the Moon. I don't know. I think it must be. Right, it's classic. Anyway. So that's Devtoberfest. So check out if you're contributing, great. If you're not contributing, wondering about what you want to do, what you could do, go and have a look at these individual contributions. You can see all the entries here. There's an entries markdown file. It's all the different wonderful entries that people have submitted. You can also go in, if you don't want to submit your own complete submission, you can go in and help out with maybe a pull request or adding some documentation or doing some testing. This is all about, open source community efforts that, we help each other, right? So there we go. That's that. So yes, it is nice to see Phil here. I think Phil, is this his second Friday on the run? That's really nice to see you. evening over there in Oz. Okay, so that's that. Now, what I wanted to talk about today and start on this little journey with you is something that sort of, when we were doing the messaging series. Let me just go to SAP Devs. Where is it? There. The messaging series. One of the things that I'm immediately missing is the ability to copy paste into the chat there because it's on a different machine. Hey Mark, good morning. Moin to Mark. I wish you a very good morning as well, Mark. Is that I can't sort of copy from here and paste into there, but I do have a plan for that. But I'll talk about that maybe another time. I want to use the YouTube streaming API to be able to sort of do it from the command line here. But anyway, here is, if you have a look at the SAP Devs YouTube channel. In fact, I'll type it in here because that's important enough. youtube.com SAP Devs. So we can go straight there. There's the diving into messaging. And while we were doing the diving into messaging series, wow, did we do 8? Wow, that's pretty cool. We did 8 episodes. While we were doing that, it was one thing I always struggled with, and maybe you did too, was the ability, where I've got that there, the ability to visualize the things that we were putting together. Now, this is the subject of this first mini-series, right? So in my head, I was wanting to see something like this. So in the, oh, it's from The Wall, not Dark Side of the Moon. Thank you. Okay. God, I've not listened to The Wall for a long time. Maybe after this. So yeah, I was really struggling sort of mentally to picture the stuff that we saw not only on the command line when we use the APIs to call the messaging APIs and the management APIs to look at the queues and the topics and the subscriptions to the webhooks and so on, but also when we look at the dashboard as well. In fact, why don't we go there, right? So I've got here, I'm in our cloud messaging hands-on SAP Dev repo, so we can see it there. In fact, why don't we have a quick look here? Where is it? There. I've put that in the little link there. Here's the repo. If you're not already familiar with it, I'm going to type it on here as well. github.com SAP samples cloud messaging hands-on SAP Dev whammo. This is the shared repo for the hosts and participants of the Hands-on SAP Dev live stream show to share discoveries and scripting efforts in the diving into messagings on SAP Cloud Platform series. Okay, so all the code that we messed around with is on here, right? And I just wanted to let you know that I've tidied a little bit of it up. So check that out. If you've not already cloned that and started playing with it, have a go. If you like it, please give it a star. You know, stars are nice, right? But it's here, right? And one of the things I've done, I'll just sort of briefly explain. One of the things I've done is I have separated out all the functions. I would build a load of functions that sort of paralleled the different API endpoints from the management API and the messaging API. But I've put those out now into a management.sh library. In fact, why don't I bring that up as well, right? So we can see them side by side. There it is there. Oh, in fact, I meant to do that. So let's go back again and bring that up again. Management there. Let's bring it vertically side by side. Is that? I could afford to make it a little bit smaller, couldn't I? Is that still okay? Yeah, I think it is, right? Oh. Yep, that was 20. There we go there. Is that okay? Let me know in the chat if that text is still okay, size-wise. This is 1080p, so it should be, right? Mark, Pink Floyd and Kraftwerk, Ramon, about your first vinyls back in '83. Whoa! My first vinyl, my first album was Rush, A Farewell to Kings. But also Pink Floyd and Kraftwerk did count amongst my early albums as well. Awesome. Oh, so much good music. Okay, so what I've done here is I've put the API functions, all these different functions, their management functions, function, there, all these different functions now I've put into a separate file called management.sh, so that we can have a cleaner actual management script. So we've got the main function here, and that's it, right? So I've just moved those out, and I've done the same sort of thing with the messaging. In fact, let me show you. Where's the messaging one? There's the messaging one there. Oh, whoa, what? Woo! Whoa, what is going on? Wow, what happened there? I've no idea what happened there. That was pretty cool. Thank you, macOS, for going crazy. So the messaging, what's going on? What? This terminate processes. This MacBook is absolutely going bonkers. It's just really, really letting me down recently. Let's kill that. Start again. Thank goodness for tmux. There we go. Right. Okay. So that was a bit weird, wasn't it? So messaging, I've done the same sort of thing. So now messaging is literally like that as well. Okay, and I've got the messaging functions in a messaging.sh as well. Notice as well, if we list the things here, we can see that according to the Google Shell script style guidelines, the messaging function, the messaging script itself is executable, but the library, the library shouldn't be. The management is, okay, so I've not done it for the library. Okay, change mod all -x for the messaging.shell. There we go. Right, git commit unexecutabilize messaging.sh. There we go. Right. That was pretty cool in a pretty weird way, wasn't it, Jodelle? Thank you, Samuela, for confirming. Okay, cool. So the general idea is if you have a library of stuff in Shell, you shouldn't have that file executable, right? And you should also give it a .sh suffix, and you should give your commands no suffix. Anyway. So messing around with that, if we run the management script, we can say list queues, for example, okay, and that should give us. And it's getting a new service, it's grabbing the service key again and looking at the client credentials and requesting an access token and then making the call itself. So that was a small delay. So we can see here, for example, we've got Q1, Q2, and Q3 on this particular instance of the messaging service that I've got, enterprise messaging service, in my trial account. By the way, as I'm sure you know, it's really weird actually. Obviously, you're there. Well, I'm there, but you're sort of, in my mind, you're down here. So I keep looking down there to sort of look at you, but I should be looking at here. I'll maybe get this right in a few years' time. All the stuff here, you can try out yourself as well. There's nothing I'm doing here that you can't do in trial yourself on your own machines and so on. So, you know, have at it. Also, the stuff we're going to be doing with Graphviz and so on. So we got this stuff here, which, you know, okay, there are 3 queues, and we can also say list queue subscriptions for Q1, for example. I don't think there are any. Okay, there's none. What about Q2? We can see that Q2 is subscribed to Sales Order Created, which is this standard S4HANA topic. More on that on the time maybe. And Q2 is also subscribed to topic A and topic B, and then there's also, of course, with the messaging API, list webhook subscriptions. We can see the details of some webhooks, right? So we can see that we've got a webhook subscription called WHS1, webhook subscription 1, that is subscribed to the Q1, and we've got webhook subscription 2, which is subscribed to the Q2, right? So that's all nice and accurate, and in fact you can also let's open the dashboard as well, which is the dashboard that we were using during that series, right? The dashboard is that thing there, or this thing here coming up. Here we go. So we can see all the stuff we just looked at in the JSON output from the API calls. We can see there's Q1, Q2, Q3. We can see the Q subscriptions. So we can see that Q2 is subscribed to sales order created and topic A and topic B, and Q3, we didn't actually look at that, did we? So we can see management list Q subscriptions for Q3. We can see that Q3 is also subscribed to sales order created. So I can make that bigger again, can't I? Now we're out of here. There we go. That's better, isn't it? So that's also nice. And there are the webhook subscriptions. It's so hard to say webhook subscription. Webhook subscription. Webhook subscription. So we've got WHS1 subscribed to Q1 and WHS2 subscribed to Q2. Now, I don't know whether you, let me know, is that enough for you to sort of know what's going on generally? And of course, this is just a test service instance of the enterprise messaging service, and I've just got some test things. When you're doing this for real, there's going to be maybe more queues, more queue subscriptions to more topics and so on, and maybe more webhook subscriptions as well. So it's quite hard. So this is why I thought it'd be really cool to be able to sort of automatically visualize that. So this is, so in fact, yes, say that after a couple of beers. I'm going to have a beer tonight and I might try and say it, but it's even hard to say before a couple of beers. Oh, there's my administrator biscuit. So I might have that in a minute. Yeah, and it looks like Al is a big fan of Graphviz, which is good. So yeah, so I would like to see something like this, and this is what this is what I want to work towards. There's also W's in that sentence, with you over the next maybe 1, 2, 3 episodes, right? Clearly, I've done some of this already. I've been messing around, but I don't want to sort of jump straight to it. I want to sort of, you know, learn by doing with you, because there's so much more to learn. So this was generated with Graphviz, right? It is a bit early for the beers for me, not for you, Phil, right? I guess you could have a beer, couldn't you? Have a beer on our behalf. So let me know in the chat if this is something that you think is useful. It is past midday. Anything past midday. My grandpa used to say it might be too late, but it's never too early. There we go. So that's what we want to do. Now, the cool thing is we have access to all the data that we need, right? So what I want to do is obviously not build this sort of thing up manually, but I want to build it up programmatically. And this was built with Graphviz. So Graphviz, if I show you, there's Graphviz examples and tutorials. This is Graphviz. I don't really know much about Graphviz. I know that it's probably what I want to use. So this is why I've started looking at it. Anybody got experience with Graphviz out there? Let me know. But if we look at some of the examples, we can see that we can build all sorts of different graphs. It even took me a while to figure out what the difference between graph and digraph was. But digraph is just a directed graph, as in the lines, the arcs, have got arrows on them. So B goes to C, right? So that's a directed graph. And so we want arrows in ours as well. Okay, so we want to build a directed graph. So there's all sorts of different things and subgraphs. And this is the one, this is the style I thought, well, it would be quite nice. Let's go back to this picture. What was it? Oh, in fact, there it is there. Let's go back to this picture. It'd be quite nice to sort of group together as well all the different types of things. I mean, there's only 3 different types of things really in enterprise messaging. There are queues, there are topics, and there are webhooks. And queues can be subscribed to topics, and webhooks can be subscribed to queues, right? So it sort of fits nicely that we can make a diagram of this. So that's what we want to do. Does that make sense? So why don't we get started? The general idea is that what I want to do is, because I created this manually, right? What I want to do is build up a script, maybe a bit of bash, a bit of awk, maybe, to call these API endpoints to grab the information and to reassemble that information, or parse it out from the JSON and reassemble that information so that we can get Graphviz to draw a graph for us. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's go to, let's use this page here. Oh, sorry, there we go. Graphviz examples and tutorials. If we go to the examples, and I'm going to grab this one because I like this one. This is what I started with as well. So I'm going to, this digraph, we can see that it's got two children, subgraph cluster 0 and subgraph cluster 1, which are clearly those two children there, subgraph A and subgraph B. And the really cool thing is that it's got this little make a graph thing. So I'm going to paste that in. And there's different layout methods as well. Neato, 2Pi, Circo, and FDP. But I found that dot, I have used trial and error, heuristic. Trial and error, heurisco in ancient Greek was to find, I find out, I discover, right, through trial and error, heuristics. So if I press generate, it goes bloop, 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 and then generates us a nice graph. So that's pretty cool. Now, that I think is the sort of thing that we want to start building, right? Does that make sense? Are we all together on this? Is this what we want to do? Let me know. The chat's very quiet, by the way. Are you all now? Have you all gone away and having a beer and listening to Pink Floyd? If you know, that's not a bad thing. But the general idea is, for example, in subgraph B, well, you can see subgraph B, A points to B. So there's A points to B. So if for example, if I change this to say, well, let's have a look at our message administration. We've got webhook subscription is 1, WHS1 is subscribed to Q1. So why don't we try and change that? WHS1 is subscribed to Q1, right? What happens if we do that? Oh, interesting. Okay, interesting. The WHS1 is subscribed to Q1, so obviously the names are make it a little bit more exciting, right? Thank you, Jodelle and Samueli. It's like a bit of a roll call. Aye, sir. Here, sir. Here, sir. It's like a school day. So this is the sort of thing we want to do. Now, rather than mess around with trying things out on the web browser, cool though it is, I think it would be a lot nicer if we could do this sort of locally. Now, I've got Graphviz installed, and that gives us a, let me just copy that actually, that gives us a dot command. Oops, dot. Okay, let's waiting for some input, right? Man dot. Okay, and there we can see dot, filter for drawing directed graphs, Neato, 2Pi, Circo, FDP. Those are those different types of renderings, I guess, that we saw on the web page just now. So I've installed Graphviz, and you can install it as well, and you get all these different things. Now, what happens if, let's create, I'm going to do it in here as well, right? Let's create a file called test.dot. I'm going to paste in what we had from the example. And if we now say dot test.dot, what do we get? We get a digraph, right? A digraph which has got all sorts of different sort of drawing things. Okay, but what we can do, instead of sort of having this sort of output, we can say dot t png, right? As in man. In fact, let's have a look at the man dot minus t capital T dot. There we go. There, t pdf, t svg, t png, right? So we can say output png. What we got originally just now was that one, dot format containing layout information. Okay, tx dot is x dot as well. Don't know what that is, but anyway, we're sort of learning by doing. So if we say dot minus t png, and obviously it's going to be sort of binary, so let's pipe that into test.png. let's open that up. There we go. So we get that. Now, the really interesting thing is that what I've found in experimenting a little bit with this is that you can really make some progressions if you can see the immediate result of your changes. So that's what I want to do first of all, right? So in my mind, where I want to go, and let me know if you agree or disagree on the chat. In my mind, what I want to do is set up so I can do this live here now, but also you can do this at home. I want to be able to sort of play around with the dot language with digraph definitions. I basically play around with this stuff, make a change and see what it looks like visually, see what the change is straight away. So that's what I want to do. And we can use a couple of tools in our toolbox to do that. So why don't we get that working first, so that then we've got this really nice sort of feedback cycle that we can then figure out how to get towards, first of all, manually creating a nice diagram of the queues and the topics and the webhooks and so on, and the relationships between them. But then also figure out what the digraph definition has to look like and what we have to generate from the script from calling the APIs, so we can do it automatically. Now, it just so happens that we've got this. Has anybody heard of the ENT? How do I clear the screen, keeping the command line in the first line? So you mean I'm down here, for example, and when I clear the screen, the command line goes to the top. Is that what you mean, Samueli? Or did I do something different? I'm not quite understanding what you mean. When I clear the screen, it just, it just clears. I'm not sure whether that's what you mean, but let me know. Let me know. All questions welcome. All questions welcome, by the way. So we've got this entr. How many of you have know about and have played with nodemon, or even the CDS watch in CAP, right? CDS watch, of course, when you run a CAP-based application, you're going to CDS run, for example. But if you do CDS watch, it will automatically restart the service if you change files, right? And that was based on this thing called nodemon, from a person called Remy Sharp is his name. Awesome JavaScript guy. Control L, yes, Control L. I see. I mean, how am I clearing the screen? Just Control L, yes. I mean, I can say blah, 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 and I can say clear, right? But I've got that also, well, I mean, that's by default mapped to Control L, okay? But also, if I go into my dot files and have a look at the bash rc.d, I've reorganized this, you can see in my dot files. If I look at the, in fact, let's have a look at all of them. The shell, there we go there. In the shell, I've set my bash read line to be VI mode, so I can use VI editing commands on the command line, but I've had to rebind Control L to run the clear command, okay? So that's why it works, and I can sort of use the J and K up and down, W across there, CW change word, banana, etc., and I can do that. Okay. Sorry, that was okay. Thanks, Ronnie, for explaining. Yes. Sorry. Thank you, Jodel, for explaining. Brilliant. Yes, we're all learning from each other. This is brilliant. So, by the way, if you are interested in the stuff that's in here, github.com qmacro.files. Of course, that's an ancient repo, but that's got all this stuff in there. Okay, by the way, is anybody noticing this red prompt and the white prompt? And can anybody let me know what they think, why it's red sometimes? And next gone back to white, for example. So have a look at that. See if you can figure that out. You can also look in the dot files to figure out how that works, but why am I doing that? Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, ENTR, man, ENTR. So we were talking about CDS and CAP and CDS watch and it'll restart. That's using nodemon. Now there's a sort of a more Unixy hardcore thing like that called entr, enter. Run arbitrary commands when files change. Okay, so check enter out, entr. It's really, really cool. So what we can do is we can set up another terminal. Let's set up another terminal here, for example. And what have we got? We've got this test. So we can say list test or list star.dot, any dot files. And we pass a list of dot files or pass a list of files we want to monitor for changes into entr, and then whatever command we give it, we can get it to do something. So let's just say echo, and the file name itself is in this weird thing called /_, right? Okay, so as soon as you run it, unless you give it a flag to say don't do it straight away, it'll tell you, right? So there's the test.dot that's changed, or that runs it for the first time. So if I now test dot, local projects, cloud messaging, vi test dot, more haste, less speed. If I now, make a change, save, there we go. On the right hand side, you can see. Oh, in fact, my head's probably in the way. On the right hand side, you can see. Do that again. Save, save, save. We get a notification, or enter knows that this is changed, so we can do something. So why don't we do that? Oh, thank you very much, Samueli, for the star on the dot files. In fact, I'll celebrate with a bit of the crunchy biscuit. Okay. So instead of just listing out the thing, why don't we do this? Let's write a little script. Godot, waiting for godot. Little bash script. In fact, let's just change mod, make that executable, and we'll just say dot. Well, let's just do the simplest thing that would possibly work for now. Dot. We know we're doing test.dot t png test.dot and put it into test.png. That'll do for now. Simplest thing that possible. We'll make it better later. So now we can say list. In fact, test.dot. That's all we're listening for now. entr bash run bash, or in fact just run godot. Let's see what happens. Okay. In fact, why don't we say godot echo updated, so we can see something. Okay, so now if I delete that line, save it, updated. Okay, so entr is a really powerful thing we can use. So the next thing we can say is, if I open up a browser window, and let's go back across to here, make that thing there. We can now over here say file users i34751 local projects. Where is it? Cloud messaging hands-on SAP dev test.png. There it is. Now I've got this little reloader Chrome extension which will just reload every 5 seconds. So now we've got ourselves, hopefully, let's go across here and just move this down there, right? There we go, that'll do, right? So if we now say subgraph A, let's just change that to hands on SAP dev. That's been updated, and that on the right hand side now. Oh, come on. Is it not updating? What's going on? Test. Oh, there we go. It's changed. Okay, 5 seconds. I am eating a biscuit in the same room as a MacBook Pro keyboard. Yes, although the MacBook Pro keyboard is on the MacBook Pro, which is closed under the desk because A, the keyboard is a nightmare, and B, the MacBook Pro is very, very loud. So, yeah. I can always get the crumbs out of this keyboard quite easily. Max! Maximilian Schreibeneder, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, Max, greetings. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so are we still? Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, this is good. This is good. So we've now got the ability to do something, right? So why don't we say we've got this? We don't need that. We've got this thing. So why don't we try and start mapping this stuff? And what I found, rather than us sort of look around, what I found here somewhere in the node, is it in the node shapes? What I'll do is I'll add something to the README of our shared repo here later today, right? I'll maybe add a section on the graphing with links to Graphviz and links to entr and things like that. And also links to the Graphviz documentation, because somewhere in the documentation I was looking earlier this week, basically how these clusters work, right? So there's a cluster subgraph, so you can cluster things together. So because what we want, I think the battery in my mouse is running out. What we want is to have all the webhooks in one box, all the queues in another box, and all the topics in another box, right? Biscuits make me hungry. Doing 16/8 these days. What's 16/8, Mark? What are you? I am doing 16/8. 2? What does that mean? What's that mean? Let me know. My brain is not working very well today, anyway. But so now let's just try things out, okay? If we say here, down here, we can do things outside of a subgraph as well. If we say here, webhook subscription 1 goes to Q1 and to 2, change that, is updated. Oh, okay. So now we're starting to see some exciting things happen, right? So basically, I think we need to play around. The general idea is, right, that we want, yes. So looking at the documentation, it seems that anything you put within a subgraph is contained within that box, within that cluster. So that's why we've got this A to B. A goes to B here. That's this thing here. And B goes to C and C goes to D. So A goes to B, goes to C, goes to D, right? Now, that's all within the confines of that cluster. If there are any Graphviz people here, I was going to say Graphviz experts, but you don't even need to be an expert to know more than I do. Just, you know, I have no idea what I'm doing. Ronnie, wait a minute. What have I missed? You have ligatures in Vim? Yes, I'm using a ligature, a font that supports ligatures, that has ligatures, and it's supported in the terminal. The font is, I really like this font. It's a Victor Mono font. Yeah, I think it's that one. Oh, hello. Yes, Victor Mono. Yeah, so check it out. And yeah, ligatures are it. Ligatures really nice in Vim. So there we go. Ligature, hooray, plus, etc. Right? So yeah, it's awesome. So I'm going to remove these, and let's start putting in the label. Why don't we have Q's as the first label of the first cluster, and let's have topics in the second. So let's do, in fact, let's not do the webhooks subscriptions first. Let's do the queues and topics. So we should have over here, come on. I want to update this maybe more frequently. See if we can do that. 5 seconds. Why is that not letting me update? 3. I have no idea. I have no idea why it's not letting me update that. But anyway, there we go. Topics. So A to F and F to C. But now what we can say is if we say here, and this is what I looked in, I didn't want to bore you with looking at the documentation in front of you, but if we say Q1, Q2, Q3, and save that, Ronnie, no derailments at all. It's all wonderful. We can start to see that we've got queues in one box and, you know, topics in another. We've got actually some relationships between the topics, which we don't want. So why don't we, what were the topics? So yeah, Ronnie, all questions like that are wonderful, wonderfully accepted, and we love them. So that's fine. It's all fine. The topics are, oh yeah, sales order created and topic A and topic B. Okay, so let's go back here and say sales. Let's put sales order created. We can put them in quotes as well. Why? Because why not? Topic A. Topic B, and in fact I'm going to zoom that. We don't need to see that updated thing anymore. So that should now change, and we should have 3 topics inside the topics cluster, but that are not connected to each other. So there's no sort of edges going from one of the nodes to the other in each of these clusters. However, if we do this outside the cluster definition, we can say Q1 is connected to, subscribed to topic. Well, that's like, actually, let's do it for real. Q1 is not subscribed to anything, is it? Q2 is going to all 3 of them. Okay, let's do Q2 first, right? Let's put them all in quotes as well, because why not? Topic A, B, and also, what is it called? Sales order created. There we go. So let's have a look at that. See what happens. +1 for derailing DJ. Yes, I would give that a +1 as well. Ooh, there we go. So this is starting to look nice, isn't it? We've got queues and we've got topics. Why don't we complete the picture? So Q3 is subscribed to sales order created. So we can say Q3, there we go, Q3, save that. It's really annoying, it's really bugging me that I can't change that 5 seconds. If I tab across maybe and press enter, it goes back to 5 again. I'm not sure what, maybe I have to disable it first. 3, let's do it 2 seconds. Oh, there maybe. You probably didn't see what I was doing there because it's under my head, but there's an enable, disable toggle switch here. Okay, that's good. So now let's make a quick change just to see if it's, let's add here another one, another topic. Save that, and that should change a little bit quicker. Come on, come on, come on. What's going on? Has it gone to 5 again? 2 seconds? Oh, yeah, no. Oh, okay. No idea. No idea. That'll do for now, though. That'll do. By the way, does anybody know? Does anybody want to know? Does anybody care? This thing here, I rendered directly in the terminal. Let me just show you. Let me open up. Let me go to here and hide that. But let me open up a new terminal here. And I could say, for example, local projects, cloud, messaging, icat, what's it called? Test.png. Oh. So Ronnie, I'll see your question on ligatures in Vim and raise you images displayed directly in the terminal. How beautiful is that? So yeah, that was a good derailment because I've derailed myself now. But anyway, we'll come to that another time. We'll have instead this one here. Okay, so now what's going on? Oh, yes. There we go. What's going on? Beep, beep, beep. Up, 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 up. Something's going on with my... Oh, there we go. Yes. I've been messing around with... always, messing around with my thing here. There we go. Okay, fine. So now let's go back here. Pull that back again. Right, TJ, stop messing. So we got the number top. Get rid of that one. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Don't call Ronnie. Just some advice. Wow, yes, exactly. What kind of sorcery is this? I can't take any credit for it. I learned everything I now do in the terminal in terms of graphics from a person on Twitter called Things Kate Did. So go and follow her. I think I put a link to Kate last week. But anyway, yeah, it's awesome. So right, okay. So we're getting distracted. I'm getting distracted. I'm distracting you. But I think we're getting there, right? So why don't we say as well, subgraph cluster. What would we call it? Webhooks. Let's call them, let's call them topics. Doesn't really matter, but it feels nicer, right? Queues. And let's go down here and say label equals webhooks. And we've got webhook subscription 1. So we're just defining two there. Ooh. Defining the webhook subscriptions. So if we run that, of course, we've got the definition in a cluster of WHS1 and WHS2. Now, come on. What's going on? Why is it not happening? Oh, it's because I've not turned this on. Oh, okay. Enable. It's gone back to 5 seconds. Let's forget that for now. Because we could, of course, now I've shown you that sorcery, what I'll do next time is use a combination of rendering in the terminal with entr. Okay, that's much better. But I thought I'd do this now because you could do this then as well, rather than have to install all the stuff for the terminal rendering stuff. So there you go. We got the webhooks, we got the queues. So now let's just join up. What is it? We've got where is it? Here it is. Webhook subscriptions. We've got, okay, that's easy. Webhook subscription 1 is subscribed to Q1, and webhook 2, WHS2, is subscribed to Q2. So let's add that. WHS1 goes to Q1, and WHS2 goes to Q2. Let's save that, and let's see what happens over here. Come on. Update. There we go. So now we're starting to get something that's going to be useful to us, hopefully. The other cool thing that I found with Graphviz, if I go and have a look at the, was it node shapes? It was somewhere, it wasn't, oh yeah, node shapes, we can change them. Let's do the node shapes. So what I had in this thing here is different shapes. This, right, is, it took me ages to figure out, why is it called inverted house, an upside down house? Okay, makes sense, right? That is a box, I guess, and that is an, what's that? That's an oval. So let's pick some shapes. So, in fact, people in the chat, please shout out some shape names that we should use. If I type in graphviz.org/doc-info shapes.html, I definitely do want to do this thing where I can do from the terminal, I can paste things into the chat via the API, the YouTube API, but that's a story for another day. So check out that, and you pick which shapes we should have for each of the three things, each of the three node types: queue, webhook, topic. Okay. Let me know in the chat. While we're looking at that, there is also, oh yeah, there we go, font size. There's also this thing to do, oh, is that there, font size? There was another thing here, there's font size, Graphviz, font size, edge, node, etc. How to change default? Ah, here we go. Node, edge, and graph attributes. I've been there before. I knew it was somewhere. Here it is. There's all sorts of attributes that you can specify. So if I, for example, say, well, what have we got here? We've got font face or something. What is it? Font path, font size, font name. Now, the way you can interpret this is this thing here. The font name is valid for edges, nodes, the whole graph, and a cluster, right? And the default is Times Roman. So why don't we just say one thing? Let's try one thing to see if it works. It's gonna be down here, isn't it? VI Godot, waiting for Godot. Graph, is that valid in graph? Font name, yeah, let's try that. Graph font name equals Victormono. Let's try that, right? We've got Victormono installed here. I've no idea whether that's going to work or not. So actually, okay, yeah, just run it now, see what happens. Is that going to change anything? Come on. Yes, it did. It did. Cool. Möbius strip. Mark, is there a Möbius strip? That would be awesome. Okay, so parallelogram. I like parallelogram as well. Yes. So parallelogram, which is quite hard to say. Not as hard as webhook subscription though. So the parallelogram. Let's open that in the previous one in a previous thing. Let's go back again. Oh, where is it? Attributes. Where was it? Oh, here we go. Parallelogram. Yes. Oh, yeah, quite like that one. Yeah. So we'll have the parallelogram. How do we use these again? Shape equals, isn't it? I think so. Yeah. Hold on. If we say here for the, what we're going to have that for? Well, let's just do it for node shape equals parallelogram. Is that how you do it? Let's just turn this back on again. And let's just find out if that changes. Yes! That was pretty cool. It's quite exciting, this, isn't it? So, you want to have a star. Max, you want to have a star. You are the star, Max. So, double octagon and Q's folder. Very, very good. Yes, I like that. So the Q's should be a folder. So we'll have the parallelogram. We'll have the parallelogram as the topic and the Q's as a folder. And we'll have the webhooks as star, shall we? Node equal, node shape equal, is it star? Star. Yeah, I'm just wondering whether the words will fit in there or not. Anyway, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try that. Oh, that looks amazing. That looks amazing. Although, Max, I think it does look, it looks wonderful, but it also looks a bit ridiculous, I think. I don't know about you, but I love the folders. The folders good. Somebody else suggested something else. Double octagon. Alper suggested double octagon for topics. Yes, let's try the double octagon, and then maybe the parallelogram for the webhooks. So the webhooks parallelogram, and the topics. What did we say for the topics? Oh, double octagon. Let's try that. Ooh. Oh, it was just refreshing as it was writing, I suppose. That was going to happen. So when we move to the ENTR-based terminal rendering, this won't happen again. Let's just... Oh, there we go. Oh, now that... I mean, okay, Max, you know, I do love you, but the stars look good, but not as good as that. Oh, yes, and the phone agrees. I don't know what it is. Oh, new kudos. New kudos. Thank you very much, Ben. So, yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. Now, notice that... let's go down here. That the font name was only valid for graph things. It looks like the nodes themselves, like WHS2, WHS1, Q, those are still in Times New Roman. So let's have a quick look. Where was it? Here. Font name is there. Ah, okay, so it's valid for edges, nodes, so you can specify it specifically for edge, nodes, graph, and cluster. So let's specify also, so I thought graph would like be the mother, so it would descend to all the children as well, but maybe not. Okay, so if we say here, let's just start splitting this out, shall we? In fact, let's move that there. Let's start moving this nice and clean. There we go, that's it. So G, no, not G, what was it? What did we say? Node. Node font name equals, and let's start doing this properly. Font name, right? Victor Mono. We don't need that either. Okay, so let's just save that again. See if the fonts in the node changes. Come on, does it change? See, that's the problem with the 5-second delay. I'm not sure whether it's... no, of course it's not changing because I'm not running it. In fact, I can leave that running. Okay, there, it's changed, yes. I can leave this running and I can go into here. No, not that one, sorry. I can go into here and also edit at the same time, right? What's it called? Waiting for Godot. And have it just down here, right? So I can just change this. Yeah, so we can say font name. And also the font size is a little large, I guess. Or maybe it's not, I don't know. What do you think? Font size equals, no, I've no idea, 16. Let's try that. Font name, font size for the, actually we want the font size for the nodes first of all. Let's just try that. Size equals size. Okay, so that's now, just save that and see, update it. See if that, yeah, it just changed. Okay, cool. So we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. And it's almost the top of the hour. So what I will do, is this something that's useful? We can sort of see, right? We can sort of see that, we don't want that one anymore anyway, do we? We want to get rid of that one. That this is the sort of thing we want to generate, right? We need to generate something that looks like this from, just remind ourselves, this sort of information. Subscriptions Q2, for example. We got the queues, got Q subscriptions, got the webhook subscriptions. And we've got, of course, these little scripts that will call this stuff for us. And we've got JQ to parse this stuff. So I think in the next episode, should we do it next Friday? We'll start pulling out this information and working out how to best with shell scripting, a bit of text manipulation, maybe with some awk or something, because awk is a beautiful language for, you know, manipulating text. Dynamically create this from the output from the enterprise messaging APIs. Okay, yes, so thank you, Ronnie. Oh, there's a reason. Hold on, I missed it. Oh, I'm missing it. Q is folder because Q keeps data. Yes, basically the Prescription subscription. Yes, that's not a thing because it's too hard to say, Ronnie. Yeah, I like that because if it's in a queue, right, it's not going to disappear until it's consumed, right? Remember we did this in the messaging? But anyway, yes, exactly. So thanks for letting me know. It's useful. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Wonderfully nerdy. Thank you. Yes, Ronnie, I aim to have a good time with you folks, and it always is with you folks. So I'll see you soon. Bye for now.